Stellantis sells its stake of NextStar.
There's no intention to lay off anybody.
LG Energy prepares to take over full ownership. Another winter blast on its way.
It sucks. That's the only way you can put it. It sucks.
I'm over it. I'm ready for summer to come.
Environment Canada issues an extreme cold advisory. And the stunning display of culture and sport.
They'll emphasize Italy, naturally. Music, dance, arts. They have a lot to work with.
The 2026 Winter Games now underway with 2 opening ceremonies and 2 cauldrons.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. Change in ownership at one of Windsor's largest industrial projects. Stellantis says it is selling its stake in the NextStar Energy battery plant. The move comes as EV demand grows slower than expected, forcing major strategy adjustments across the auto industry. So what does this mean for operations at the plant? CTV's Sanjay Maru joins me now to explain. What's the answer?
Yeah, well, Stephanie, first it should be noted that the timing of this is very notable, considering the federal government just yesterday rolled out a new national auto strategy, including billions in EV purchase incentives and charging infrastructure funding. Now Stellantis says it's stepping back. So what does that mean for jobs at the battery plant? Well, according to multiple officials, the message right now is actually one of stability and even growth.
Stellantis says it plans to sell its 49% stake in the NextStar Energy battery plant in Windsor, handing total ownership over to LG Energy Solution.
Stellantis has made changes to their EV supply chain, and one of those decisions that they made was exiting from the joint venture with LG.
The $5 billion plant, which started production in 2024, is Canada's first large-scale EV battery factory. It already employs more than 1,300 workers, with plans to grow to about 2,500 at full production.
The company was meeting with the workers this morning. There's no intention to lay off anybody. They're looking to expand the business. They're looking to introduce new lines and new technologies to, broaden what they can provide.
The head of the union representing workers says the move did not come as a shock, with the slowdown in the EV market building for months. The announcement by Stellantis comes as the company faces major financial pressures tied to electric vehicles. According to Reuters, Stellantis reported about 22 billion euros in one-time charges, most of them linked to EV investments that have not paid off as expected. But NextStar says the facility has already demonstrated its ability to adjust to changing market conditions.
We showcased our rapid agility when we transitioned to ESS cell production with LG ES as a main customer.
Reaction today from upper levels of government.
Stellantis is making a financial decision. I think it was a good business decision, to be frank with you.
We will invest in those who invest in us. And what do I mean by that? We just signed a partnership with Korea on auto manufacturing last week. What are we seeing this week? LG is buying out Stellantis to invest more in Canada.
Company officials say the shift removes concerns from other automakers about buying from a plant partly owned by a rival company, helping them reach a wider range of customers. Among them is Stellantis itself, which says it will continue buying batteries from the NextStar Energy plant.
And the local union is also raising a broader concern tonight. 444 President James Stewart says Canada is now one of the only jurisdictions outside of the U.S. where the EV industry is not growing, warning that could pose challenges for the auto sector in years ahead.
Yeah, definitely a possibility.
Something to watch out for.
Yeah, Sanjay Mara with our top story tonight. Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Another blast of extreme cold is headed for Windsor, Essex tonight, just days after Groundhog Day had many people thinking about the spring. As reporter Chris Campbell explains, the lingering cold has many residents thinking less about snow shovels and more about sunny getaways.
This is the worst winter we've had, and I can't even imagine how long it's been.
By Windsor standards, it's been a tough winter so far. Colder, longer, and more relentless.
It sucks. That's the only way you can put it. It sucks.
Especially in the morning when you go to work.
I'm over it. I'm ready for summer to come.
Now, even though the calendar is inching closer to spring, another extreme cold advisory is reminding people that winter isn't done with us yet.
And to make matters worse, the wind is going to kick in and it's going to be strong. So it's going to make those cold temperatures feel even colder.
Just days after Groundhog Day brought talk of an early spring, Environment Canada is warning of wind chills near -30 overnight, with another bitter stretch possible later in the weekend.
It's been much colder than normal.
It's depressing, but you got to make the best of it.
Meteorologists say that feeling isn't just in our heads. Windsor has already seen 4 cold weather warnings this winter, the highest number in at least a decade. And that sense of winter fatigue is showing up in another way.
Yeah, with this weather being this crazy this year, this has been one of the busiest years, if not the busiest years in all of our 33 years of business.
Travel agencies say more people are looking to escape the cold altogether, booking trips to warmer destinations earlier than usual.
It's the craziest year probably that I can remember, definitely since pre-COVID for sure.
And with seasonal travel picking up, Chatham-Kent Crime Stoppers has issued a reminder for anyone heading south. Protect your homes before leaving on vacation. Use light timers, arrange for snow removal, pause mail deliveries, and ask your neighbors to keep an eye on your properties.
Those are all tips to make it look like you are home when you're really not, so they're important to know at this time.
They warn cold weather often brings a spike in empty homes, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
For social media, you can wait until you get back, because if you do social media when you're away, they'll know you're away.
Others are just counting the days until warmer weather finally arrives.
It's winter, it's not summer, so you're going to expect this weather, so it's okay.
In Windsor, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Let's head straight now to CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald, who joins us with more on this tonight. Gary.
Stephanie, we're talking about warnings in place for the extreme cold. A blanket of blue across southern Ontario due east. The redded shaded constituencies, those municipalities are looking at blizzard conditions to only complicate matters. We're talking about wind chill values pre-dawn tomorrow morning near -30 and possibly a repeat performance for early Sunday. And then, of course, we have snow. Right now, a lot of it is light, but there's a chance we could see another centimeter or two. It's areas closer to Kincardine, Southampton, Eastern Shores of Lake Huron where it's most potent. For now, tonight, thinking about frostbite concerns to exposed skin in just a couple of minutes. So do wear those extra layers. I'll break down the extended forecast just ahead.
We are more than 2 days away from Super Bowl 60. And as CTV's Bob Belichico shows us, local establishments are competing to have the biggest party.
There is definitely no shortage of places to watch Super Bowl 60 on Sunday.
I can't believe it's already Super Bowl weekend.
Restaurants and bars are gearing up for the big day.
You know, it's very competitive out there. Everybody wants to have the big party in Windsor. So, you know, as a sports bar in Windsor, we just try to keep competitive and bring it the best way we can for fans.
The Factory House is giving away stuff, including a TV and recliner chair. The Loose Goose is giving away things too and beefing up their menu as well.
Quite a bit. We have 70 different choices of sauces and rubs, so it's all about giving the customer as many options as possible.
So if you're watching the game from the comforts of your own home on your TV, then snacks are probably in order, right? Got to fill that table somehow. Where do we start?
We'll just make sure we have a good variety of stuff that everyone likes to eat. I'm making a veggie chili.
Sometimes we do chicken wings. Sometimes, you know, maybe barbecue, pulled pork, stuff like that. You know, it's just, you know, every year we try to do a different theme.
Some fans have to show their allegiance, but this rematch from 2015 isn't overly popular in one local sports store.
We're getting some requests. I mean, it's not big. It would have been bigger if it had been the Rams in type of thing, no doubt about it, or the Bears or the Packers or whatever.
Regardless of your allegiance, everybody picks a winner.
Seahawks.
My money's on the Patriots. Picking Seattle.
Seattle.
New England. Former Seattle Seahawk and LaSalle native Luke Wilson will be watching the game in San Francisco. His former squad playing the team that denied him back-to-back championships.
this was the organization. I've played in 2 of these. You know, I get to cover this team now. It's pretty cool, pretty pinch me moment, I would say.
Wilson has been to every Super Bowl since 2014, 2 as a player and the rest as an analyst. He doesn't get to have chicken wings or chili and kick back with family and friends, but one day...
Yes, exactly.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
As Bob mentioned, Luke Wilson, who used to play for the Seahawks, he will be an analyst for the game on TSN. He's obviously going for Seattle for many reasons, including quarterback Sam Darnold, who has had a long journey of letdowns before this moment.
He goes to San Fran, backs up, things are good, gets a shot in Minnesota, and wins 14 games, and they let him walk there too. You know, so the fact that he's been through all that and he's, you know, on the verge of winning a Super Bowl is pretty special right now.
So here's our question of the day. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked, would a rebate impact your decision to purchase an electric vehicle? Out of more than 700 votes, 78% say no. That response had us asking more questions. So we asked our Gary Archibald to go out to see if anyone owns an electric vehicle, and if not, what would it take for you to buy one?
Do you drive an electric vehicle?
No. You know, that's a little bit expensive for now.
And in the future?
And the future, probably when it's coming some vehicle from China, gas will be better.
I just kind of don't feel like this is the time for electric cars, basically. I would have to test one out first before I make my mind up on that.
In other news, a judge has ruled against the Windsor-Essex County Humane Society in a case that centers on who gets a say on how the organization is run. The decision tracing back to the firing of the society's longtime head, Melanie Coulter. After Coulter was let go in 2024, hundreds signed up to become members, expecting a vote on major governance changes. But when it came time to vote, they were blocked. The board moved to a closed membership model, limiting voting to board members only. More than 200 new members, many volunteers, donors, or employees, were not allowed to vote. Now, a judge ruled that wasn't allowed. The court found the board acted arbitrarily and in bad faith, ruling those members should have been allowed to vote, and the bylaw is now void. Lawyers for the members say the case was about who gets a say.
This wasn't a referendum on whether moving to a closed model was right or wrong. That's not the point of this. The only point was, should we be allowing the 224 members who are, for the most part, volunteers, donors, employees, should we be letting them vote on and deciding the future of the Humane Society?
In a statement, Executive Director Lynette Bain says the Humane Society respects the court's findings and is reviewing the decision with legal counsel. She says our priority remains the welfare of animals in our care and the stability of the services our community relies on. We are committed to transparency and will provide further updates once we have had an opportunity to assess next steps, including the court-ordered annual general members meeting. Now, this will reset the governance process. The judge ordering a new annual general meeting within 60 days where all eligible members will be allowed to vote. And we have an update on a story that raised concerns for dozens of tenants in Chatham. After issuing eviction notices tied to an 8-month renovation project there, the same property owner is now taking similar action at an apartment building in Sarnia. Brian Bicknell has the latest.
I can't afford the rents that are out there now. I can't afford it.
Jody Rand is worried sick. She's about to lose her home.
I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I'm slightly disabled, so I have a hard time walking and everything. And, now I'm expected to pack up a house and move a house and do all these things. How?
A tenant of this townhouse complex on Exmouth Street in Sarnia, she recently received word from her new landlord she has to move out because her place is being renovated and asbestos has to be removed.
This is the first time ever hearing about it.
She says all 13 tenants in the 41-unit complex received the same letter.
We have to be out by the end of May, and If we would like a cash for keys deal, they're offering us $5,000 to be out by the end of March.
In the past week, CTV News has reported on tenants in buildings in Chatham, Kent, and Tillsonburg who received the same notices from the same property owner. Douglas Kwan with the Advocacy Center for Tenants says tenants can only be ordered out pending the outcome of a legal tribunal.
Understand that these letters are just merely letters that without any power to actually end your tenancy. In order to end the tenancy, they need to prove their case at the Landlord and Tenant Board. So my advice to all the tenants is to get proper legal advice from their local legal clinic so they can know their rights and to properly respond to these threats.
Once again, we reached out to the name on the real estate company's correspondence claiming to be the owner and the director of the company, Rex Brondile. We were hoping to get an interview to respond to these allegations of rent eviction, but we didn't get a response. As for Jody Rand, she just wants to stay in the place she's called home for 15 years.
Was this my home?
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The 2026 Winter Games are now officially underway. For the first time, the opening ceremony is a multi-site event spread across northern Italy. CTV's Scott Hurst has the details now on the festivities. Team Canada and the first sporting events of the day.
More than 200 Canadian athletes are stepping onto the world stage. Led by flag bearers, Quebec's Michael Kingsbury and BC's Marielle Thompson, both athletes previous Olympic champions, as Canada's team eyes more podium appearances. The opening ceremony is a stunning display of culture and sport, with the host nation always mixing in its own flavor, and Italy sure has a rich history to show off as Milano Cortina welcomes the world. And for the first time in Olympic history, the ceremony takes place across multiple venues in separate cities in a widespread yet unified event, with San Siro Olympic Stadium in Milan serving as the central hub.
They'll emphasize Italy, naturally. Music, dance, arts, they have a lot to work with.
Even before the pomp and ceremony to officially kick off 17 days of sport and spectacle, Canadian athletes have already begun making their mark. Quebec's Francis Jobin soaring into the Big Air final. He'll have a shot at the podium on Saturday in his Olympic debut. The husband and wife mixed doubles curling team of Jocelyn Peterman and Brett Gallant are now 3-1, winning their first 3 matches before falling to the Americans. And Canadians sit 5th after day 1 of the Olympic figure skating team event. The competition kicks into high gear tomorrow with the first medals being awarded. And after the first match was postponed on Thursday, the Canadian women's hockey team will begin its pursuit of back-to-back Olympic gold medals. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And as Scott mentioned, there are 2 opening ceremonies in 2 cauldrons because athletes are spread throughout northern Italy. That distance makes these games not only unique, but historic in its setup. CTV's Heather Butts is in Milan.
Meeting this crew from the Netherlands, already a highlight for Ontario's Marga Wilson during her Olympic experience.
Bucket list, definitely. To see all the different athletes from all the different countries is so exciting.
The Olympic motto, after all, is about celebrating the unifying power of sport.
I'm hoping Canada goes gold, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, you met some Czech hockey player at the airport yesterday, so you did wish him luck, but secretly he said not too much luck.
A unique aspect of these games is how spread out the events are. Organizers wanted to use existing infrastructure as much as possible, but this means no central hub.
It's missing a little bit of snow, to be honest. Canada would be better to host them, but it's nice to be in the city. I feel like in the mountains it'll feel like more of the Winter Olympics here.
I was kind of hoping to see a little bit more like fan zones here, and I didn't quite see that, but maybe they're just spread out more through like Cortina and Levingo, so we'll see.
Competitions are taking place all over northern Italy, making this the most widespread Olympic sports setup in history. The games will span over 22,000 square kilometers. A trip between Milan and Cortina could take upwards of 6 hours. It means not all of Team Canada's athletes will be in the same village or region throughout the games.
You know, giving a high five to an athlete in another sport, or even the gentle smile when you're
under such pressure can make a huge difference.
Olympic champion and Canada chef de mission Jennifer Heil admits it will be a different experience, but the team is turning to technology with video chats and highlight reels to help unite them.
I think there's a trade-off between, the positive and the negative. I think for the Olympic movement, it's very positive that we're going to venues that already exist that make it more sustainable and easier to host.
The last time Italy hosted the Winter Games in Turin 2006, medal ceremonies were held in the center of the city each day, creating a buzz, adding to the Olympic spirit. Because of the distance, this year, medal ceremonies will be held at the venues following the competitions. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan.
Do you have thoughts or comments on a story? We want to hear from you. Text us at 10400. You can send photos and videos as well. A near tragedy at Detroit Metro, a car careening into the terminal. That video still ahead on Windsor's News Leader. A Windsor-made whiskey is joining forces with another Canadian classic. Details coming up. And Monday at Council, targeting homelessness and addiction. Changes in the works at the local Heart Hub. That's Monday at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. We have newly released a video of a crash at Detroit's Metro Airport we told you about last month. This surveillance video shows some terrifying moments. Watch the car in the left lane as it swerves towards the terminal, crashing through the doors. Video from inside shows the vehicle barely missing people before crashing into a ticket counter. 6 people suffered minor injuries. The driver was arrested and has been held since. They have not, however, been criminally charged. A Windsorite and Detroit lawyer is part of the legal team for a Lions fan suing for $100 million after an incident at Ford Field. As Bob Belichico shows us, the lawyers want to hold podcasters accountable for their words.
If you could just say that, please. Like, my family's getting threats and stuff, and it's not cool.
Ryan Kennedy at a news conference a month ago pleading with DK Metcalf of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
DK Metcalf had mixing up with someone in the stands. Oh my gosh.
Metcalf pulled on Kennedy's shirt during an intense confrontation at Ford Field and appears to strike him.
Ultimately, what happened on that day should have stayed there at that day, but it didn't. It got worse, significantly worse.
A $100 million lawsuit has been filed by Kennedy against Metcalf and retired NFL greats Chad Ochocinco-Johnson and Shannon Sharp's media company and others. Windsor native Gasper Stair, who was part of the legal team, says a popular podcast hosted by Johnson and Sharp claimed Kennedy made racial slurs.
Imagine in this day and age, 2025, 2026, being nationally labeled and regarded as a blatant racist. Okay. It's just not right, and we're here to set the record straight.
He did call him a racial slur. He called him the N-word, and he did call his mama.
Stair says the lawsuit included 9 counts, including defamation and negligence.
And then think that they can hide all this and get away with it by stating to people like to Judge Ochocinco-Johnson that the reason he did it was because our client said the N-word, which is just completely untrue. And that's what this case is about.
Stair points to POV videos in the stands that he says clearly shows what was said.
Be more careful with their words. It's as simple as that. And they got it wrong. They refused to correct the record. And so we're going to hold them accountable.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Canada lost around 25,000 jobs across the country in January. This marks the first net loss of jobs nationwide since August of last year. CTV's Heather Wright explains the story behind the numbers.
The hits keep coming from manufacturing, especially in Ontario, the province which saw the largest number of job losses last month, according to Statistics Canada. Overall, Canada's economy lost nearly 25,000 jobs in January, while the unemployment rate fell to 6.5%, a result of fewer people looking for work. And while Alberta, Saskatchewan, as well as Newfoundland and Labrador all gained jobs, Ontario was hit hard, losing a whopping 67,000 jobs last month. That includes roughly 1,200 workers at the General Motors plant in Oshawa, Ontario, where last week the company cut one of its 3 shifts.
I think we're seeing it in the sectors that we were expecting to see. For example, manufacturing is still suffering job losses, and we're starting to see public administration jobs in public administration decline, and those impacts obviously more centered in Ontario.
Economists say the report is not all bad news, as the majority of job losses were in part-time jobs, while the number of full-time positions grew.
So the split of 45,000 full-time jobs being created is very good. So that kind of offsets the headline.
Underlying this jobs report, however, is persistent uncertainty.
I think tough times are here for a while yet. We need to see some resolution here, some certainty around what will be the access to U.S. consumers, so important for Canadian manufacturing.
With CUSMA, the free trade agreement with the United States and Mexico, up for review this year, many businesses holding off on hiring and investing, waiting to see the outcome of those trade talks. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's top banker is warning that economic restructuring in our country will take years and could be painful. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem is urging policymakers and businesses to do all they can to adjust to the new challenges, which include U.S. tariffs, slower population growth, and the rise of artificial intelligence. Macklem says that while Canadian businesses have historically been cautious, this is a time to be, quote, bold. Macklem also says it's hard to differentiate structural change from fluctuations, stressing the need to avoid misdiagnosing economic weakness. 2 long-standing Canadian brands are teaming up on a new ready-to-drink option. J.P. Wiser's, which is made in Windsor, and Canada Dry have launched a pre-mixed whiskey and ginger ale cocktail, which is rolling out nationwide. The company says the drink is based on a familiar pairing many Canadians already enjoy. The canned cocktail has an alcohol content of 7% and will be available in select sizes depending on the province. Strength in the base metals sector helped Canada's main stock index rise to close the week. In Toronto, the TSX gained 476 points. In New York, the Dow is up 1,200 points and the Nasdaq added 493. The Canadian dollar gained 0.15 cents. On commodity markets, gold added $90 an ounce and oil is up 29 cents a barrel. Broadway for Kids, a symphony concert designed just for them coming up. We'll tell you where to find it this weekend.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thank you, Wendy, for sharing your image with us. Just ahead, will we see a break from the snow at all Saturday, or will it just be a snowy, absolutely frigid weekend? We'll talk about wind chill values next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Frigid, windy out there. Those wind gusts will increase, Gary.
That's the story. Frigid as we head deeper into the late evening overnight. We have a warnings map to give you an idea. Indications shaded constituencies in blue. That's where the extreme cold could lie, and it includes the area in red. More on that in just a moment. We're talking about wind chill values pre-dawn Saturday and potentially Sunday, but definitely for Saturday near the -30 mark. Frostbite to exposed skin in just minutes. And then we have a blizzard warning not too far from us through parts of the Midwestern tier of Southern Ontario. We could see 15 to 20 centimeters isolated snow bands with reduced visibility down to 0. Lots taking place now and through the weekend, no doubt. Super Bowl weekend, 0.4 degrees Celsius. Yeah, you saw it correctly. On the plus side, And some areas reach 1 degree Celsius. That would be above seasonal, but it's going to get colder late tonight into tomorrow, the weekend. Very cold, as mentioned. Air quality in the medium category of 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. The winds will, of course, be a big part of the story. As mentioned, wind chill values into the 20s and certainly maybe low 30s tomorrow morning and Sunday morning means that the winds out of the northwest in particular will be gusty. We're looking at northwesterlies possibly tomorrow close to about 45, 50 k's sustained with higher gusts in the 70 to 75 range. 0 degrees in Windsor, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy. -1 in Chatham-Kent, that's 30 degrees Fahrenheit. It feels like -6 in both regions. It will be getting colder, and that cold air pool dominates much of the Great Lakes and east. Meanwhile, things are warming up out west. Snow continues to penetrate out of the northwest with lake effect possibly streaming right across Lake Huron and into southern Ontario, just to the north of London. We are still looking at an additional dusting to about 1 centimeter. So snow so much as we are anticipating the models to hold line through the next 12 hours will be light, but it gets cold. By midnight, -12, feeling like about -20. Take a look at our inner carousels, 7-day forecast, mostly sunny, bone-chilling. Cold tomorrow morning. Sunday, flurries, very cold. Monday, -5 flurries. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, +5, 3, 0, and then -3. We'll warm up and get a break from this frigid air.
A new study looking at Ontario residents has found rates of psychosis are increasing in recent generations. With more on the findings and their implications, here's Pauline Chan.
The study looked at more than 12 million people born in Ontario between 1960 and 2009, of whom 152,587 were diagnosed with a psychotic disorder like schizophrenia.
Auditory or visual hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that aren't there. People can also have intense paranoia, so they might think that people are out to get them.
The findings?
More recent birth cohorts seem to be experiencing an earlier age of diagnosis of psychosis and schizophrenia, and actually cumulatively more of it.
And Dr. Daniel Myron says the increase is striking.
What proportion of the generation or the birth cohort has been diagnosed with schizophrenia by age 30? And that's up almost 40%.
Some of the reasons behind this? Myron says the age of birth parents is rising, and that's known to be an increased risk factor for psychosis.
There's been a large rise in opioids and synthetic stimulants like methamphetamines and cannabis and the potency of cannabis, and more recently, interest in hallucinogens.
And increasing urban populations.
People living in more urban centers or more dense places, and for reasons that are not fully understood, seem to have a higher rate of psychotic disorders.
Psychotic disorders are relatively rare, affecting about 2% of the population, but the impact is wide-reaching.
People who have a chronic psychotic disorder have a reduced life expectancy. They have profound implications for their social interactions, for their work.
And patients require frequent, regular contact with the healthcare system.
And, that's compounded on a mental health system in Canada that generally is, under-resourced.
The good thing, says Myron, is that early diagnosis is improving. And in Ontario, the growth of early intervention programs for psychosis has led to some 50 clinics in the province, adding that further research is needed. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Flu season is finally easing in Windsor, Essex. Health officials say influenza A cases are declining while the number of influenza B and COVID cases are holding steady. However, the number of RSV cases are starting to rise. These are tracked through wastewater surveillance. Food insecurity is a serious cause for concern in our community. With more on this is Dr. Mehdi Allouche from the Windsor-Essex County Health Unit. Dr. Allouche, how much of a problem are we seeing in our community with this?
It's striking and very concerning. 1 out of 4 households in our region in Windsor-Essex are at risk for food insecurity, which means that they skip meals, they constantly thinking of what's going to happen tomorrow, and they reduce the quality of food every day.
Okay, so how is your team tackling this? As best as they can, obviously.
So this is a public health problem. It affects mental health and physical health. Our team is monitoring the situation, the food insecurity status in our region. They gather data. We produce the reports. We share that with policymakers. We make sure that they understand the scope and the extent of the issue. We work with different levels of government, municipal, provincial, and federal government. We advocate for these people to have access to basic human needs, which is food.
Okay, advocating is so key. Dr. Mehdi Allouche, thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we will be talking about the importance of talking with children and youth about the dangers of illegal substances, where they spend the majority of their time inside of the classroom. Still ahead, the Blue Jays say goodbye to longtime broadcaster Buck Martinez. The lawyer for the truck driver who caused the deadly Humboldt Broncos bus crash says he's one step closer to being deported to India. A lawyer for Jazz Karat Sidhu says the Immigration and Refugee Board has rejected his client's bid to stay in Canada as a refugee. That puts Sidhu one step closer to being deported. Sidhu was behind the wheel of a semi-trailer in Saskatchewan in April of 2018 that collided with a bus carrying the Humboldt Broncos hockey team. 16 people were killed in that crash and over a dozen others were injured. U.S. and Iranian delegations met today for nuclear talks in Oman as confrontation looms between the two nations. The talks were, quote, a good start, according to Iran's foreign minister, and will continue. The U.S. has repeatedly accused Iran over the years of trying to build a nuclear weapon, something Tehran has denied. Prior to the talks, the U.S. continued its military buildup in the Middle East. The U.S. military carried out another attack on a boat alleged to be trafficking drugs in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Officials say the attack yesterday targeted a boat traveling known narco-trafficking routes and was engaged in narco-trafficking operations. A video posted by the U.S. Southern Command online shows a boat in the water before exploding into flames. 2 people were reportedly killed. The attack raises the death toll from American strikes on alleged drug boats to 128. Musicals aren't just for grown-ups. The Windsor Symphony Orchestra is holding a concert this weekend specifically for youth. Broadway for Kids opens this Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Capitol Theatre. It's an event that the whole family can enjoy, performing popular hits from iconic musicals like Frozen, The Lion King, and The Little Mermaid. The Ensemble University singers from the University of Windsor will take the stage with the WSO. Prior to the concert, children will receive a free themed craft provided by Renee's Music Studio. Tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for children.
It's so important that kids get this touchstone experience, right? Get their foot in the door, hearing this wonderful music, because it starts a lifetime of musical enjoyment, musical enrichment. It's something that is so incredibly important for everyone in our community.
2026 is a fantastic year for movies, and we want to make sure you can see them all. Head to ctvwindsor.ca and enter the code word for your chance to win movies for a year from Imagine Cinemas. Sit way back and enjoy the show.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. Join us for a wonderful lunch of a variety of chilies, February the 11th from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. All proceeds benefit St. Clair College Foundation and student scholarships. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, you have some news about the longtime voice of the Blue Jays.
That's right. So Buck Martinez announced that he's retiring. He says he'd hoped to be part of the 50th year of the Toronto Blue Jays, but it's time to pass the torch. The former big league catcher called over 4,000 Jays games over 4+ decades. The 77-year-old from California first joined the Jays as a player in 1981 and has spent his final 6 seasons with Toronto. He also managed the Blue Jays in the early 2000s. Martinez was diagnosed with cancer in 2022 and took a leave of absence from April to July that year while undergoing treatment. We've got more photos and videos of his career online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have a police story this time online, Melanie, about more vehicle thefts. They keep on happening.
That's right. So this time it's in Chatham. A 22-year-old man has been arrested after a 2-month-long investigation. Officers identified a suspect after various vehicle thefts in the area. He was arrested Wednesday and police executed a search warrant at a home. As a result, he was charged with 3 counts of theft of a motor vehicle. Officers are reminding the public about auto theft prevention, and we put those tips on our website. And in our social spotlight tonight, while some Canadians are complaining about the snow, others are making the best of it. Yes, love this trend by making ice cream. During last week's cold snap out east, these hardy Canadians made frozen treats in the -30-degree weather. I think we should try that during the cold weather here, Stephanie.
I think it's a great idea. I don't think there's too many ingredients, and you can add a few flavors in there, whether it's you know, a little chocolate, a little maple syrup. You can make different flavors, and of course we can have it on the desk afterwards.
And there's certainly enough snow to go around.
Yes, for sure. Okay, if anyone at home has some trending video they want to send you, how can they do it?
Yeah, they can email it to us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Okay, thank you, Melanie, and that's what's happening now. Last week, snow-covered trees. This week, cherry blossoms everywhere. What a difference 7-day makes in British Columbia. Cold out there, Gary. I don't know if you saw Melanie's segment there, making ice cream in the snow. We're waiting for more snowfall to come down and we can whip up some ice cream.
Well, I mean, it's certainly gotten colder, and it will get extremely cold through the latter stage of tonight because of the extreme cold warning, with wind chill values pre-dawn Saturday morning close to -30. And again, Sunday will be cold. AM values. Look at the daytime highs and lows. -9, then -17 Saturday, -7, -19. We'll see some sunshine Saturday, some light flurries on Sunday, but it's bitter. Monday's still cold with some flurries, -5. And then it just warms up. +5 Tuesday, fair. A rain-snow mix and some wet flurries between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, +3, 0, and -3. We will see a significant rebound. That's a look at your inner carousel 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Gary. Now, we may be pulling out the shovels again, but in Victoria, the first tree blossoms of the season are out. Here's Adam Sawatsky.
As she waits to meet her cousin,
okay, have a look.
Joan Bailey invites us to look at what she's left.
It was absolutely glorious.
Back home in Alberta.
The trees were amazing.
But what a difference a week makes.
You've left trees that look like that?
Yeah.
And now?
Trees that look like this.
Trees that instead of snow are blanketed with blossoms.
We came to see the cherry blossoms.
That's Judy Cook, who brought her cousin Joan here specifically for the flowers.
We put them in the GPS, put the street in, and came and found it. Look, there they are.
And now here Joan and Judy are, with one goal in mind: to take pictures of the petals.
Oh, yes. That's an understatement.
So tell me, how many photos you've been taking?
Oh, probably 500 by now.
500 photos?
Yeah, but then you have to find just the perfect one.
That perfect picture that captures the beauty bursting from the branches and the feeling that seeing it inspires.
It's joy. It's absolute joy.
Yeah. But also contrasts with those pictures from back home, because Joan is planning to share these flower photos with her family and friends still surrounded by snow.
They'll say, lucky you.
But they won't feel jealous because they'll know why Joan's doing what she's doing.
You can't focus on what's going wrong. If you do, it makes you angry, cranky, and I can't live like that. So I wake up in the morning looking for joy.
And if you do that, Joan says, you'll always find joy, no matter the season.
This is beautiful, and this is beautiful.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Oh, that story just getting me excited for spring.
Well, it's a combination of two of my favorite things, photography and weather. So please, ladies, you've stolen my heart.
And if you have any photos at home, we always want you to send them to us.
I love it. Oh, my goodness. It's cold.
It's cold. On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.